Hello again. This is part 5 of my Sanderson sister dollhouse. This is one half of it. This is showing what I've got done on this part. I've got a little bit more trim to put on the walls and then build the fireplace over in this smaller room, and then we'll probably be able to paint a little bit more on it. This little space back in here is where the fireplace will be, and I haven't exactly figured out how I'm going to build that yet. I'm still trying to watch the movie and look at pictures to see how that's built. But these are the popsicle sticks that I used for the floor. I haven't stained or painted this side yet, and I've kept a couple of them loose, so when I start putting the lights under there, I can get up and under there to attach the lights. So this side's just got a little bit more work as far as trim and the fireplace, and once those are put in, I can start painting and staining the floor and the walls. And then the other half needs the same. It needs a little bit more trim work and painting in areas. But up here along the top, I'm going to move the camera up a little. I've been practicing the paint. I mixed Mod Podge with brown acrylic paint. The Mod Podge just gives you a stronger surface, and it just kind of bonds everything together. And I put the brown paint in it just so that it helps give me like a base coat, so when I do go over with the final color of paint, I won't have to put so much of it on there because it'll already have this base coat. So here is the main part of the house. I don't know if it shows from here, but it'll show better when I turn it around. But I've added two little walls, one on each side of the door, and I've cut out the rest of the windows. Finally got the roof put on. I've just got to add that little piece here, and the inside, I've got quite a bit done on the inside. This is really close to being done. The next big thing will be to finish painting it, and then I'll get to finally work on the accessories and the furniture and all that. So this is the first loft, and this is where in the movie you actually see the people stand, like Thackeray Binks and Max. And this loft up here above it, I don't think it was actually in the movie, but I wanted to add that just to give me spaces to put more things later, and maybe make this up here another bedroom. I know there's going to be a bed back in this away, and there's going to be a bed over here, and of course there needs to be 3, so I figured this would be a good space up here to put that third bed so that this level ain't so crowded. And I love the detail I've been doing on these posts. I've been sanding those. I've scraped them with a blade, like a razor blade, or the end of my scissors. I've took my hot glue gun and melted holes in it. And I've just done a lot of things to give that detail, to try to make that look like real wood. So there's just a little bit more of the trim up here to do also, and then once I get to finish painting it, that's when I'll get to work on the windows. And the walls have become very thin, where I was scarring the walls, putting those cuts in there to look like wood. You know, with this being foam board, I knew from the beginning I should have doubled this up and made this 2 layers thick, but that's something that I can still do, even though I didn't do that in the beginning. So I'll probably use cardboard as the second layer and just trace out every wall in the house and draw that out on cardboard, and then just glue that from the outside. So here's a close-up of those walls that I had put on each side of the door, using the same foam board that I've been using, and then I went down with a little square piece of wood here. This probably came from a craft store. That I put that on there to give me a stronger space for when I actually put hinges on the door, because I knew that the hinges wouldn't do good just going into that foam board. So the hinges will actually hook to that little wooden frame that I've put in there. And of course I'm trying to stay true to how the house looks in the movie, but there are going to be little details that aren't going to be perfect, because it's hard to really tell how it looks. I mean, you can watch that movie over and over and over, and there's just certain places that it don't really show too good, like back in this corner. This is where the mechanical part for the wheel, the water wheel on the outside goes. So I'm going to have to actually look up mills and see how water wheels are constructed and just try to somehow rig something up in this corner to look like the mechanical parts to the water wheel. That'll probably be something I do later on, just because it's not something that I'm familiar with, so I'm going to have to research that a little bit. And of course there's some more trim work to do down here as well, so I'll finish that little trim and get the rest of the painting done, and hopefully in the next video we will be able to start working on the windows. So here is the little fire pit. Now of course I'm not done painting, I've still got painting to do, but I've made it look like the stone that is around the fire pit. And to get the fire, or the burning coals, I put my lights in there like I showed before, and then over top of it I went over it with red tissue paper and Mod Podge to hold it down, and then I mixed coffee grounds with Mod Podge to create the coals. And then when it lights up, it looks pretty good. I'm going to turn the light off so you can see it better, but it actually looks like little burning coals. So I mean, I'm really excited with how that turned out, and I'll get a little bit closer shot of that later, and I'll show more of how I put that together in videos and also pictures towards the end. So here's a little bit closer look at the coals burning, and here's that little slot that I left open for the battery pack. And I really love how this has turned out, and once I get these rocks painted around here and finish painting this out here, it's going to look really good. I think the burning coals turned out really well, and it actually, to me, it really does look like burning little coals. And I got the idea from using the coffee grounds from, of course, YouTube. Some of the people I watch, they mix up the coffee grounds, and they usually use it for dirt to get a dirt look, but I thought it looked like coals burning, and I actually went over it just a little bit with black to darken it more. So for the detail on the post and the beams and places, I did just like I did on the walls. I've just been scratching those with the scissors to give them that wood grain look. And also I've figured out you can poke it with a sharp tool. I've been using an ice pick just to give it kind of that wormhole look, like it's got wormwood. So that really does a good job as far as giving detail to make it look realistic.